want to warn against watching this video alone or at night, during thunderstorms, near cemeteries, woods, in a creepy old house, or generally anywhere that is dark and creepy. And if you choose to ignore the warning, just check your closets and under the bed before we start. Here are, in my opinion, 4 of the creepiest places in the world. Now I'm going to change this video up a bit, so we will be counting down from places that will make you cry out for mommy to places that if you visit, you better be wearing a diaper, and even that might not be enough to contain all the crap that will be scared out of you. Number 4, Centralia, Pennsylvania. I mentioned this before, but I hate horror movies. I can admit it, they scare me, and I don't like it. One of the scariest movies I ever seen was Silent Hill. That movie totally freaked me out, and the video game was much worse. I really don't like the concept of going somewhere and being hunted by a bunch of creepy monsters and never being able to find my way out. Well, that's what makes Centralia, Pennsylvania so creepy, is because that place is basically Silent Hill in real life. Centralia used to be a huge coal mining town, but in 1962, the coal beneath the town caught fire. Through the 1980s and 1990s, nearly all the homes, businesses, and buildings were torn down because the town is basically above a fire pit. While no lives had been lost that can be directly attributed to the mine fire, many say there are supernatural forces at work. There has been many stories of people seeing apparitions disappearing into the smoke or hearing voices telling them to leave town. Others go as far as to say Centralia is the gateway to hell. Although this place is not an official tourist site, you can actually go and explore the town. So if you really want to go visit a place that's basically right above a burning inferno with smoke and ashes flying around, then go ahead. Hope you don't run into Pyramid Head. Number 3, the LaLaurie House. I was in New Orleans a couple years ago, and had to...
What? Why would you even go there? If you know it's death, why go there?
That town is creepy. With all the above-ground graves, voodoo shops, and all the haunted houses. You know, I think New Orleans is the only place in the world where a ghost can actually make a house more expensive. So I heard about the story of the LaLaurie House while on a ghost tour, and this thing gave me nightmares. Apparently, in 1832, Dr. Louis LaLaurie and his wife Delphine moved into their mansion in the French Quarter, and soon became renowned for their social affairs and great wealth. Delphine was considered one of the most intelligent and beautiful women in the city. Of course, this being the early 1800s, the house was attended to by dozens of slaves, and it was the neighbors who first began to suspect something was not quite right. When they noticed that in the LaLaurie house, slaves seemed to come and go quite often. Maids would be replaced with no explanation, where other servants would just suddenly disappear. Then one day, a neighbor was climbing her own stairs when she heard a scream and saw Delphine chasing her personal servant, who was a little girl with a whip. She pursued the girl onto the roof of the house, and then the little girl just jumped to her death. So basically, this girl would rather die than be caught by this woman. Then finally, everything was exposed in April of 1834 when a fire broke out in the kitchen. Legend has it that the fire was set by the cook, who could no longer endure more of the madam's torture. After the blaze was put out, the firefighters discovered a horrific sight behind a secret barred door in the attic. They found more than a dozen slaves there, chained to the wall in horrible states. There were both male and female slaves. Some were strapped to operating tables. Some were confined in cages made for dogs. Human body parts were scattered